I think that'd
So
be
let's talk
interesting.
about. Let me ask you this: What besides Minecraft? What is your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time, Minecraft.
I
Oh
just
no,
said beside.
besides
I just
Minecraft.
said. I just said that. I just said that.
I
Hello,
mean, the
everyone, and
answer.
welcome back to the ATG Podcast. My name is TZ, and I'm joined with
NattyDucks, that's me. What's up? Episode 4, baby.
episode
Let's
4,
go.
officially launched now. We're officially on YouTube and Spotify,
Yeah,
which is something we'll probably. I mean, I'm going to talk about a little bit.
weird to get on Spotify, but
I
we
was
made it.
surprised we got on it so quickly. I was really
Yeah,
surprised, and it came out
tried
really well.
figuring
I was
that out.
listening to it on the way home, myself. Which is weird to listen to yourself. That was the
Yeah,
one thing was a little weird. Like going in the car and driving home, and I was like had it on. And I was like, it's a little weird listening to myself, but yeah, whatever.
yeah.
It came out really good.
I mean, whenever I listen to all the podcasts just to make sure the editing
Mm.
is good, and for the most part it is, because I assume you check over it,
Oh yeah,
but
of course.
give a little feedback here and there. So
Yeah,
I've definitely listened to them all, and yeah, great feedback we got from it.
yeah. So yeah, I think today's just gonna be a regular episode. Nothing special going on today, but we're gonna have a couple
Yeah.
chats.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about gaming, and we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But first, what's new? I got our little segment here. We've done one time so far.
Yeah. So mine is okay. So I'll be honest. I didn't really come prepared at all for this. We were not planning on doing an episode today, and then I just messaged Natty and I was like, hey, let's just do it. I'm free right now, and
Yeah,
I just
so
more or
little
less
impromptu.
instead of doing like a traditional news thing because I didn't really come prepared. I just wanted to more like give thanks to everyone who came out and watched it on the launch day. I've gotten DMs from people who. I made a joke with Slater because he was like, how'd the launch go? And I was like, it's funny. This is the first time, one of the first times I've gotten DMs from a bunch of people saying, good job on a video.
Dude, I didn't get a single DM.
I was like, this is the only time I've been praised for an actual video. I'm like, this is great. I'm
Yeah, you're like, let me
Snipe
keep this
Shot,
up, yeah.
Midas. My dad was watching stuff. Obviously Jace watched all of it. Thank you to everyone. Irish Potato, a bunch of people who were just messaging people.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for all watching. I think but all 3 episodes combined have like nearly 100 views on YouTube.
close to, if not
Already
by the time
over.
this comes out.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
really really great. So thank you guys. That's kind of my news thing. I know it's not really.
Yeah.
It is new right now.
I mean,
'Cause it happened yesterday.
It is pretty cool to see the reception, because
Yeah.
it was kind of a mixed bag when we were making this. It was like, so we're just gonna get like one viewer and that's
Yeah.
just Slater. Like, he was pretty much our guarantee.
Do you see all the
But-
comments he left?
Yeah, he's insane. He's
Each
insane.
episode, there's like a storyline going on with his comments.
Yeah. I just want to say it's not a bit, Slater. We got you on the schedule for this episode.
We got
so,
you. You're gonna be on.
Yeah, you're gonna be
You're
on.
gonna be on.
Hopefully later this episode.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
We don't run out of time again. We got
yeah,
other things we
but,
gotta do first.
Yeah. Boy, we have to get to that. But it's great just seeing all of the different comments, the people that are interested in it, and this is just the beginning. So I can't wait to see
Yeah.
where this podcast goes.
Yeah.
And we're not just stopping at 3 episodes, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're on the ball.
Yeah, we're rolling.
This is the day after the launch, so
Yeah.
like we're already on the ball.
Yeah. So
Pretty great.
Yeah. So thank you from TZ and me.
Yeah.
We appreciate it a whole lot. Anyway, other side, what I brought for news isn't just a thank you.
Someone who's actually prepared.
Yeah. I actually, so Marvel Studios, we talked about them 2 podcasts ago, episode 2, right? It actually doesn't really have to do with Marvel Studios like the MCU, but Marvel is releasing a game, a video game.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, called Marvel 1943: Rise of Hydra,
Mm-hmm.
and it's this game that's set in 1943 in occupied France,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes place with Captain America and Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
specifically T'Challa's grandfather, which is going to be an interesting sort of story.
I think that
Trailer came out.
it's just interesting. I think I saw the cinematics for it. It looked pretty good actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it goes. It's gonna be pretty interesting. I know it's being produced somewhat with Skydance, which I know they've done a lot of movies and stuff. But yeah, from what I've seen, like some people are like, "Oh man, this looks like a movie." It's like, yeah. So we'll see how much. I mean, they have like some sort of gameplay to it, but the gameplay like people are just mistaking as just the cinematics, which is kind of
Yeah,
shows how nuts
I
it
haven't
is.
sine any of the gameplay. I've just seen the cinematics for it and like
Yeah.
the Captain America and Black Panther meeting. I haven't seen any of the actual like
Well, I think that is the
gameplay.
gameplay, to be fair.
That looked like cinematics, no?
I think some of it was, and then some of it was gameplay. I think there's a mix in there, but it just
Okay,
looks
okay.
that
I've
good.
only seen the cinematics though, like things that look like they were just movies.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think that's just the quality of the game. But I could
Okay.
be wrong.
We'll see.
It uses Unreal Engine 5, which is the newest one of
Okay.
that. It just looks incredible.
It looks
But
really good.
yeah, never really wanna pre-order games anymore nowadays because you never know if things
Yeah,
will
I
look
know
good and then
a lot of people are really hesitant, especially with superhero games right now, because I mean,
yeah,
a lot of the latest superhero games, other than like Spider-Man 2, have been kind of letdowns.
yeah,
You know, and like even though like come out with these like really good cinematic trailers, and then the gameplay is lackluster. So
yeah. So, but that's the new news.
yeah,
Or what's new? Still don't have a good name, but
we
what's
need
new
a name for
works.
that. Yeah, you know, Nat, before we move on to the game, which I have brought today, I wanted to ask you, Natty, what's your favorite podcast?
Favorite podcast, the ATG
I,
Podcast. You
I
remembered.
said I was gonna. Yeah, I remembered. I remembered. I
I
said I
was
was gonna.
90% sure you were gonna forget.
Yeah, I was. I the only reason I remembered is because I listened to the first one the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna.
You're like, I need to do that.
I gotta make sure I remember to do that, or it's gonna be a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
So good. We got that out of the way. Episode 4.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Took
Okay,
us a
so
while.
we have the game section, as you guys know. Every single episode we started with a little bit of a game. We did the alphabet one in episode 3, and then what did we do in 2? Oh, we did the blind ranking. Blind ranking.
Yep.
Yeah. So today I brought a little bit of Mad Libs.
Oh, Mad Libs.
So if you don't know what Mad Libs are, basically it's a story, and I'm gonna ask Natty to give me some prompts, and they're gonna fill in the story, and then I'm gonna read him the story.
And that's remember what an adverb is.
Yeah.
I know what an
Okay.
adverb
So
is.
I'm gonna call it. This one is a little bit of a parody of Star Wars. This one, and
All right.
I've downloaded an app for this, and it was just a Mad Lib app. It was the only thing I could find. And
Fair.
this one's called "In a Galaxy Far Away." The first prompt I'm gonna ask of you is give me a amount of distance. It can be 5 feet, 200 meters, 8,000 light years. Give me an amount of distance.
2.5 centimeters.
Of course, you picked the centimeters.
You're probably like centimeters. This guy's American. How does he know what that is?
All right, give me a noun.
Give you a noun.
Yeah,
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
Give me a name.
Dr. Pepper. No, I'm joking. Not Dr. Pepper. What do we?
You could use your name.
We'll go with Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
All right.
Get that from Captain America.
Give me a profession.
Profession.
A job.
Okay. We're gonna go with a chiropractor.
God damn it. Kyra. Nope,
Yeah.
that wrote in too. Chiropractor. Give me a plural noun.
Rocks.
Rocks. See, I like that. Give me another noun. Different one than Dr. Pepper. Can't be Dr. Pepper.
Speaker.
Speaker. Give me a famous person.
Steve Jobs.
With 2 people named Steve now. I'm seeing a bit of a trend. All right, give me an adjective.
Smelly.
Smelly.
Like TT.
Give me a funny vehicle name.
Dungle Wharf.
What? Doomga Wharf?
No, Dungle
Dune?
Wharf. The Dungle Wharf.
Give me another adjective.
Let's go with delicious.
Give me an animal.
A buffalo.
All right, give me another name.
Steve Buscemi.
One name. It's a first name. You'd only get first name.
Oh, Steve.
No, you can't use the same one.
All right, Randall.
Randall. Randall. Give me a musical instrument.
Slapophone.
Give me a type of food.
Enchilada.
Enchilada. This is worse. I'm never playing this game again. Give me another adjective.
Oh, what was it? Another
Give me
adjective?
Adjective, yeah.
Okay. Mechanical.
All right, give me another name. Not Steve.
We'll go with Sam.
Sam. Give me a plural noun.
Plural noun. We'll go with candles.
Give me an adjective.
Adjective. We'll go with feisty.
Give me another noun.
Chicken.
Oh, okay. And then give me a place.
We'll go with Apple HQ.
That's not okay.
Hey, man, makes sense with the Steve Jobs pick.
Then give me another name.
Not Steve.
Not Steve. All right, we'll do not Steve.
We'll go. No.
Oh, you don't want to do
like,
not Steve. Okay.
No, go with like Bucky.
Bucky. Okay.
Yeah.
And then give me a funny phrase.
If two can, you can too.
If two can, you can too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. All right. In a galaxy far away. In a galaxy 2.5 centimeters away.
Okay. Well, that's not too far away.
There was a young Dr. Pepper named Steve. He lived on the planet Coruscant and always dreamed of becoming a chiropractor.
Let's go.
One day, while scavenging for rocks, they stumbled upon a mysterious speaker. To their astonishment, it contained a message from the Jedi Master, Steve Jobs.
No way.
The message said, beware the smelly power of the speaker. Determined to find out more, Steve borrowed the spaceship Dungle Wharf, and set course for the delicious star system. Along the way, they met a buffalo named Randall.
Yeah, buddy Randall.
Who played the slapophone and had a secret love for enchiladas.
Yeah.
Together they faced the mechanical Sith Lord named Sam in an epic battle of candles.
Yeah.
What is it? The epic battle of candles. In the end, thanks to the feisty trick using a chicken, I don't want to know what that means. They saved the galaxy and celebrated with a grand party on the planet Apple HQ. Every time someone mentioned the adventure, Bucky would exclaim, "If two can, you can too." That's the amazing
round of applause. That made so much sense. I loved our hero.
Steve.
Loved our hero, Steve, the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, the Dr. Pepper who wanted to be a chiropractor.
Yeah. And then a magical speaker they found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was looking for rocks, which you'd think would be a lot easier than.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was looking for that, to be honest with you.
No. Honestly, it probably is pretty hard to find rocks on Coruscant.
You know what though? To be fair, yeah. Honestly, yeah, that probably would be a delicacy on Coruscant.
Yeah, it makes sense. If it's any other planet, it wouldn't
If it was
make
like
any
Tatooine,
sense.
it wouldn't make a lot of sense. It wouldn't.
No, but it makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
All right, well, that's Mad Libs, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, all right. I guess that means it's time to get into the main
Main
meat of the
juice.
podcast.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
meat. Okay, yeah.
The meat
We
and
both use
beans of the
different.
podcast.
You use different descriptive words.
Yeah, it's still food in a way. Anyway, so today we're gonna be talking about
band.
gaming. What? Yeah. We're
Everyone's
gonna. Yeah.
favorite topic.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to see what sort of games have we played individually that have sort of impacted, like, us. You know, if that makes sense? Like, what games are you most fond of that, played a role? The obvious answer for both of us would probably be Minecraft, so don't answer that.
Okay.
And I won't answer it. I don't know. Do you want me to go first, or?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, there's a couple different games. I think a big one would probably be like Skylanders.
Oh yeah, that one's a good
If
one.
any of you guys remember what that is, it was start of the Toys to Life sort of era.
You have like the
Remember
little
playing
portal, and you put the Skylander on the
Yeah.
portal, and then he's in the game, and it's like whoa, and then you have to like go to the store and spend like $30 on another one, and it's like
So yeah, I had a lot of that, a lot of those. I think I've probably spent, and by I mean more my dad, because I was too small at the time. I was a little wee lad. We've probably spent like $400, $500,
that's crazy.
which is
I used to have a whole
nuts.
bag of them.
Yeah, I have a whole box of them.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I gonna do with those now? I've actually recently went and played through a little bit of the first game again, and it's fun. But yeah, I spent so much time. I played for that game for, I think, 4 different games. So it was about 4 years. But just a lot of fun, and I'd play a lot with my dad, so it'd be a good sort of bonding experience. And searching down for the Skylanders in the stores. We'd always go to the sections that take up half the video game aisle, especially when other Toys to Life games like Infinity and
Disney
stuff
Infinity,
like that came out.
those games.
Yeah, dude, that's another game that I played a lot of, especially like
Yeah.
3 with Star Wars. There's a vibe.
By the time, like,
But yeah.
I played the Skylanders one, but I didn't really like I didn't play the original game. I played the Giants one more than that.
Oh yeah, I mean
And
that was
then-
the first one I played.
And then the one that like the swappables, I played that too.
Swamp Force, yeah.
Yeah. But then after that, like I did, like we had some of the Disney Infinity characters, but I didn't really ever play the game because at that point I was, I think we had a 360, so I was more into like Gears of War and Call of Duty.
Yeah. See, I mean, I think that's where we sort of differ, because I'm not really a big shooter kind of person. I guess like the one other game that I'd say had a good impact on me would be Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare.
Great game.
Which is kind of a shooter game. I mean, it is, I would say. but
Any
it's
Plants
not-
vs Zombies is they're just great. They're just great games.
Yeah, it's not really Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely played a whole lot of that. Would main
down
the
some of
pea
these.
shooter for
Oh yeah,
the
pea
first
shooters.
game. Actually, now that I think about it, what did I? No, I think I made the sunflower. Now I think about the fire sunflower. I think that was my favorite. I don't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, I would say probably those 2 games especially probably had a huge impact.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I mean, from my young days, I remember. I mean, like Mario Kart was probably one of the bigger games that I played.
Yeah.
Like on the Wii, the
100%.
Wii Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I remember we had a GameCube when I was really young, and I played like Dragon Ball Z on that. But Mario Kart was probably like the first big one, you know?
Was it Mario Kart?
Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart Wii.
Wii?
Yeah.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
Looking them all. Got it all down.
And like we would actually it would like be like me, Jace, my sister, and my dad would all play 4-player split screen on this tiny ass TV. It's actually the TV I'm on my second monitor is the one that we
Yeah.
used to play on. It's an old shitty
Oh,
TV.
that's cool.
And I don't know how we used to play 4-player on this, to be honest with you, but
You got to be really close to the screen.
mm-hmm. But you know, that was probably one of the first, I guess, one of the first games I remember playing. In terms of like games when I got older, though, like it was Gears of War, Call of Duty Zombies. I mean, that was really the real reason I started my channel was for Call of Duty Zombies. I got really into that game. Black Ops 2 and pretty much past that, I was in love with those games. And then, you know, if we turn over to more of like others, like obviously, like, yeah, Minecraft was there the whole time, but FNAF was another big thing that I was into.
You were a big a FNAF guy.
I got introduced to that, but like how a lot of other people did from Markiplier's videos, right?
Markiplier,
The legend himself,
Just a theory.
and MatPat, but I was more into Markiplier, right, because of his
That's
gameplay.
Markiplier's
I thought
great,
he was
100%.
funny, and
The Bite 87.
although, like, to be honest, I haven't really ever completed any of those games, most because I'm really bad at them. But I like watching them and like understanding the lore behind all of that. And yeah, so those movies and those games and the movie that came out last year, I thought it was you know, I have my
Still
opinions.
haven't seen that one.
It's not bad. If you're a fan, if you're a fan of the games, you'll like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would say like those are probably the games that I played the most. But and then like the Batman games were also a big part. I mean, I talked about it a little bit on my Suicide Squad video about, you know, me, about how I kind of got into the Batman games and where that all kind of started, and how I started with Asylum when I was really young and I didn't really get it, and then I got Origins and I was like, wow, this is cool. I like this game now. And then I played City, which I played it in the wrong order. I was supposed to play City first, but I played City and I was like, wow, this game is really, really cool. And you know, like everything that happened in that game. And then Night came out and I was just in love with it. And I was like, wow, Batmobile, explosions, you know, all that stuff. So,
yeah. I've only recently been getting into like the Arkham games, but especially like the Batman canon as a whole.
yeah.
Like I like, if you asked me like a year ago any of like the sort of Robins, I wouldn't be able to really tell you much aside from the Lego Batman movie Robin. But
Yeah, it's all very, very interesting.
But yeah, I've looked into it more, and it's definitely, I see why it's in the top 2 for, you know, best rogues gallery, best sort of like story and characters. Yeah,
and
it's basically that in Spider-Man. No,
and I know, like
questions
when you asked me about, you know, in the first episode you asked me about my favorite superhero, I kind of talked about it, but the Batman games are really the reason, you know.
Yeah.
Like the movies and stuff, they're all cool, but you know, Kevin Conroy's the GOAT. You know, he's the best version of Batman, and the animated series and those games just really proved that for me. So, yeah, when it comes to like when you ask like, oh, what version of Batman do you think of when someone says it, it's the Arkham version.
Yeah.
You know, like hands down. You know.
I just wanted to quickly touch on so you were talking about how you more watched like Five Nights at Freddy's, right? And like you played it, but you never really finished it. Isn't it like interesting, like watching someone play a game and not just like play it, and how we can still find enjoyment from that?
Yeah, I think it really depends, right? Like I think you need to watch the right person, right?
Yeah.
It's always like that. It's like that argument a lot of people made. It's like, you know, how do you watch somebody play a video game when you can just play it yourself? It's like, okay, but how do you watch sports? You know?
Yeah.
It's like
you can just play the sport yourself.
Yeah, it's like I get it's not competitive, but they're entertaining when they're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And you know, in the case of Markiplier, he is very entertaining because he's dying and screaming half the time, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I say, like, when anybody's like, you know, I want to get into the FNAF universe, but I don't know how to do it, I'll be like, dude, go watch his stuff. Like, it's dated, but it's good, right?
Yeah.
And he's hilarious in it. And he doesn't really understand the lore either. Even to this day, I don't think he does.
There's so much lore. It's like, yeah.
I don't understand half of it, to be honest with you. But
I don't think anyone does.
Other than MatPat, I think he's the only one.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's also met Scott, so the creator of the game. So, you know, fair enough.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting thing because I'd say that's probably something big in at least in my life of like watching
Hmm.
gaming YouTube and stuff from
Yeah.
different creators. Not just like Minecraft, but like Minecraft for example, but other ones like Markiplier, like Jacksepticeye, those sort of
Well,
guys.
let me ask you this: because we both make YouTube videos.
Yeah.
When you make YouTube videos? Because I have my answer. Who do you like when you were trying to make your channel? Because everybody like is
Yeah.
trying to rip off someone, right? Who were you trying to emulate?
I mean,
Usually it's people you're
it's
watching, right? So
yeah.
who'd you
I
say
mean,
that
I've
is?
gone through a lot of different inspirations.
I agree.
Like right now, a lot of my inspiration is from like B-Dubs, who plays on Hermitcraft, and Smallish Beans, who
Yep.
now plays on Hermitcraft. So a lot of that with Minecraft, but of what like got me into doing YouTube and wanting to be a YouTuber since like second grade. Before it was cool,
Hmm.
not like well before, but now it's like I think like 2/3 or something ridiculous of kids growing up want to be a content creator, which
Yeah,
is just like
it's crazy.
nuts. Yeah, I'm
Well,
like, man.
there's a lot of avenues for it, right? With like TikTok
Yeah,
and
for sure.
like everybody has a social media platform now.
I'm like, maybe I'm too late, is what I think sometimes,
Hmm.
but you know. But what got me there would probably be like Stampy and Squid,
Mm-hmm.
if you know who they are.
Yeah.
And they did a lot more of the Xbox sort of thing. They were a lot more of the family friendly side of things. So
Yep.
I'd watch a lot of them. I remember they got me into doing like watching Minecraft, but other things. And so
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of inspiration that I got from watching them, wanting to become a YouTuber from them, and then obviously as time's gone on, I've gotten inspiration from elsewhere as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're sort of the base, I would say.
Yeah. For me, I would say early on it started with like because I started my channel in hopes to be a zombies YouTuber. It was never to
Yeah,
be Minecraft. That was like the one thing when I was watching back episode one, and you said like you asked me why did I start my channel? Like, how did I get my name? That was the one thing I forgot to mention.
yeah,
Is because I forgot about it too. I was originally going to be a Call of Duty Zombies YouTuber, and that was what I wanted to do
name
because,
makes sense. Titanium Zombie.
well, yeah, that was the idea, right?
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, like a lot of my inspiration comes from those guys, right? Like the Smith Plays, anyone from the Z House community, the Lonely Mailbox. He's probably the biggest member of that team that
yeah,
inspired me. His just way he presented himself on screen was just like really cool, and I always took a note of that. But looking over the Minecraft side, I always looked at like Tom Syndicate. He's a guy. He was in Mionite.
yeah.
Was someone? I mean, I literally wear the exact
Creeper
same.
Leone.
Tom Syndicate. He wears a zombie in a tux. That is his Minecraft
Yeah,
skin. It is literally the exact same skin.
it's where you got your skin from. Yeah,
It's where I got my skin from. But yeah, no. So I would say probably those guys, and then there's others that I mean Markiplier was probably on there as well, but those are like the main ones I would think
yeah.
that I could think off the top of my head.
That's cool.
Hmm.
It's interesting because like a lot of those people. I mean, I've heard a couple of those people, right? But a lot of those
Yeah,
people I haven't heard of.
yeah,
But it just shows how big YouTube is.
yeah.
The fact that like and
And
like
to think of
someone,
now, like nowadays, there's people who can be looking up to like Mr. Beast. Like me and you
yeah,
don't have that. I would think, right? Like obviously, Mr. Beast is
no,
cool.
I
We
mean
both
like
watch him.
there's a respect to it,
Yeah, but I'm
of
not.
like
I'm
the
not like
grind,
I
but
want to be Mr. Beast. You know what I mean?
no,
But like,
especially with how much he goes through and
yeah.
like he has nothing else that he
Yeah,
does.
but like
And I'm
there's
like,
people now who are gonna that's what they're gonna aspire to be
does
like.
not have a work-life balance. It's just work.
Yeah,
But hey, if that's what he wants to do, then fair
but even
enough.
like other
Working
people,
out for
like
him.
now, like you look at streamers, right? And
Yeah.
there's tons of people now coming up, and like those are the people you're gonna have future YouTubers look at and be like, yeah, that's who inspired me, which is
Yeah.
cool.
It is.
It's like a new generation now being grown up on YouTube, pretty
And
much.
and then we've gotten like the older generations there's been a lot of retirings recently,
Yeah,
especially like Matt Pat and Tom Scott, people like
yeah, yeah.
that.
Well, tons of people are now. It's crazy that
Yeah,
now we have YouTubers retiring. You know,
Yeah.
that's weird to me. I don't know why. It just is.
I mean, we've gotten to the point where, like, for the most part, it
A
was
lot of
kind
them,
of
yeah,
just
like
like
they're all getting
it
older.
would just go forever. But then it was like, I guess you've made it,
Yeah,
And like, there's
and
some YouTubers that have essentially retired. Like, they're still just making like videos for fun, like PewDiePie. Like, I think Markiplier to an extent. I know he's
and
doing like
he's doing
movie
movies
making and
now,
stuff.
which is pretty cool.
But stuff. I think that'd
So
be
let's talk
interesting.
about. Let me ask you this: What besides Minecraft? What is your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time, Minecraft.
I
Oh
just
no,
said beside.
besides
I just
Minecraft.
said. I just said that. I just said that.
I mean, the answer is legit Minecraft. I mean, that's
Mm,
that's the definitive answer. I don't really play enough games
mm,
where I have a number two that I go back to.
yeah.
Um, like there's games that I enjoy, and I've played a lot. Like I've played a lot of Fortnite. So that's a
Yeah.
game I enjoy.
That's
I've
not
played a
even a
lot of
game we even mentioned here. You know what I mean? Like
no.
Fortnite
I've
is
played
another
a
whole game. Fortnite's gonna become. You know the movie Ready Player One.
yeah.
That
Oh
like
yeah,
the
it's that.
Oasis. Fortnite
Yeah,
is the real life version of that. Like
dude,
it's
it's
not there
the
yet, but it will be.
yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where that goes. Maybe Epic Games and all that could be
Yeah.
another topic. Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
I guess another game would be probably like Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Good game.
I've played so much of that. I mean, like it had a rough start,
Mm.
but like when it was nearing the end, it got to a point where it was like this is a good game, and everyone was like, we can't wait to see where it goes now. Because they're like finally at the place they should have been at launch. They have prequel content, they have
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. And then EA just sent them off to do what? Battlefield 2047 or whatever it's called?
Great idea.
Or 2049. I don't even know because it's not important. Like that game crashed. I mean, they're doing I heard with that game they're kind of doing the same thing with Battlefront 2 where they're like um updating it to get it to a better spot. But at
Mm.
this point, it's like I don't know. EA's said many times that there's not a market for Star Wars games or like multiplayer Star Wars games, and it's like, are you nuts?
That
Like,
is a wild statement.
it's like that's just yeah. Like they made Battlefront 2, and like they're like, oh man, people didn't like it. It's because of the microtransactions. Once they
Yeah.
actually started going, it became something that people liked, and I think there's always going to be a market for Star Wars games and stuff. And I'm so glad that EA doesn't own the exclusivity rights anymore because
Yeah.
they had that for a long enough time. I think in 2013 they got an expired 2023. But now other studios are able to do games like the Star Wars Outlaws coming out, which we'll see how that looks. I don't know quite yet, but it hasn't come out yet, so we'll see. But yeah, so I guess those two would probably be my favorite games outside of Minecraft.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of two answers, but I don't really have an exclusive game that I just go to. So, what about you?
Sorry, I'm just fixing my camera. Only like
Is it
40,
COD?
40 minutes. I would say for me, like game that like stood out the most, it was probably be Call of Duty. It's just like
Yeah.
zombies specific. That pisses a lot of Call of Duty fans off when I say that, because a lot of people are like, like a lot of people are like really into the multiplayer, and like when I say like, oh yeah, Call of Duty, everyone's like, oh yeah, you're into multiplayer. I'm like, no, actually, I'm trash at multiplayer. Like I'm
Yeah.
okay. Like if I'm playing online, I'm gonna get I'm gonna bottom frag every single game. But you
Yeah.
put me in the zombies game, depending on the map, I could do pretty well. And
Yeah.
like playing Black Ops 2, I wish I kept some of the videos, but there was a lot of videos I used to make where I would just like hop on and play games of Call of Duty. I've made one map, or played one game where I had my grandfather play. I think it was like the Giant or something. I had him play that, which is a map on there. And playing like BO2 with Arbiter and the Spiffy Gent and Slater, going for like round 50 attempts, and we would all get staffs, and then one of us would die, and at like Gen 1, and you have to like
Just a
run all
lot
the
of
way down
fun.
there. Yeah, like playing Transit and doing all that. And then we moved to BO3, and we got like Drak and all these other maps, and like seeing the story unravel was really cool. because that game really like hepped up the story. And then BO4 came out, and I lost all trust.
Yeah.
Because that game was, for lack of a better term, pretty shit. And
Yeah.
when
That's
it comes to the
Activision,
zombies,
right? That makes
yeah, it was Activision.
the
Yeah.
COD games.
It was
Yeah.
Activision. Yeah, Activision is like the producer. Treyarch made the games, but it was Activision who made the like a lot of the bad mistakes for BO4.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, like the story was just rushed when it comes to the like what they had to do with, and like the gameplay was not as good for zombies. They gave you wonder weapons like right off the bat, so progression is just not as good, and like all the wonder weapons in the games just seemed really bad compared to the ones that you spawn with.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it's whatever. And then,
So,
yeah.
is it just COD, you'd say?
Well, then obviously like the Arkham games, right? Like those were kind of the
Yeah.
other. Those are like the single player ones, right?
Yeah. So are you more of a single player guy than a multiplayer guy? Is what I'm kind of getting out of.
It really depends. I think I like the multiplayer games for like the fun moments, like
Yeah.
that, and that's why I like
When
games
you're with the boys.
like Among Us and Lethal Company so much. Like those games are so fun because they're just full of shenanigans. Like the games aren't that great if you're playing them. Like if you're playing Among Us solo, you just can't. But
Yeah.
if you're playing with like a random group of people, right? It's not as good as if you're playing with a group of friends, right?
Yeah.
So those party
100%.
games are really great. But like single player games are fun too. Like I recently played through all the Poppy Playtime games, which are like a horror series. And that's a lot of fun, right? That's a single player game. It's like there's like puzzles, and it's like similar to FNAF, but and those games I have played, and they're a ton of fun. I didn't like I probably should have made the streams off of them, but I just didn't. So
Sometimes it's fun just to play games just for fun.
yeah, I did this recently. I know we said we were going to talk about Minecraft, but what I mean I know you know about this, but because the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand, it's like, oh, you play Minecraft, and like it's fun. It's like the thing is, I don't play Minecraft. Okay, there's a difference. I get on Minecraft to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Work in the mines.
Like,
that is MCBC.
And people are like, people don't get that, so I can't like go out and like tell people that, but it's like it's the truth. I get on to work on MCBC. I get on to work on Mucka Bucka stuff. I get on to work on TZCC, which is a new event I'm doing now.
Which I mean, it's still fun in its own way. It's
still fun in its own way because I'm creating stuff and my creative brain still gets to work.
Yeah.
But I'm not playing the game as like a traditional sense, right?
Yeah. Not like
so.
I mean, I don't think we've played really since. I mean, I have like Guild Rock in a sense.
Yeah.
But I
like
mean,
Project
like,
Peaks.
Project Peaks, I would say, is the last time.
Or Endoza probably is the last.
Well, I guess Endoza, but Endoza, you always, because you always had to be streaming, it was always a content thing, which in a way.
Yeah.
Was
Okay.
kind of
Yeah.
working.
Okay. But recently, why I bring all this up is because recently what I did is I just started a solo world, and I was like, I haven't done a solo world with nobody around in literally forever. I don't think I've ever done it, to be honest with you. And I just played the game, and I went and I beat the Ender Dragon. I got full netherite armor, and I still have the world. I want to do other stuff in it, but I'm doing other stuff now, and get the podcast, and I get MCBC and all that other stuff in school. And
that's a cool thing about single players that like it's not going to change while you're not playing on it.
Yeah,
so you
well,
can come back at any time.
That's what I said to. I was saying that to Slater. I was like, it's great because it's the first time I'm on a survival world, and I can put my stuff in a chest, log out, and it's still going to be there when I get back.
Yeah.
I was like, because there would be a lot of multiplayer maps where that would not be the case, and I go into like full war mode, and I have to protect everything and get 8 sets of different gear in case one gets stolen, and get ready to go to war.
That's the one thing about like the Project Peak series is that I didn't particularly like, but there's only like it's just sort of the way that kind of multiplayer works.
Yeah.
Is like
competitive
you can't always
multiplayer.
trust everyone. Yeah. It's like I don't know. It's not really my cup of tea too much.
No, I agree.
That's why I'd leave stuff out.
Thing is though, the project, like, we really should have warned everybody who joined. Like every single project season always turns out that way. Always turns out that way. Like obviously the war was probably, and like the war of Project Peaks was the most like constructed version of a war. But even on Project Aquatic, like I know you weren't there for that, but there was wars on that. It just wasn't recorded. There were so many wars on that, and we weren't recording because there was just so much drama on that map.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it wasn't recorded.
I mean, it might have been recorded.
Might have been.
Right, since I don't know. I'm not going to go through the hundreds of episodes.
Yeah, I'm not doing
Slater
that.
has.
I know I didn't record any of it. That's for sure. But I didn't do a lot of episodes, to be fair. So.
Well, just before we end, I wanna talk about what we'd like to see in the future of gaming. I mean, obviously I talked a little bit earlier about the Marvel game that's coming out, but there's a lot of other stuff coming in the future.
Are these like things that are set to come, or like we talking about like what we'd like to see?
Either or. I mean, like what kind of things would we be down to see or looking forward to?
Like me? What would I want to see?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, in terms of like continuations of the Arkham series, I would love to see a Batman Beyond game starring Terry McGinnis. I know I kind of don't know how much I talked about this.
How would you do with the whole Kevin Conroy thing?
Well, he wouldn't really be. He doesn't have to be in it, right? And that's kind of the good thing about Batman Beyond. If you wanted to bring back the character of Bruce Wayne, I suggested this in my Suicide Squad video, but bringing back the guy who voices him in Arkham Origins, and I'd be fine with it, because he's already been Batman in this universe, right? Yeah. So it's not like it's that much of like a, you know what I mean? It's not like you're replacing Kevin Conroy. It's like he's already done it, right? Like he's already voiced Batman, and it's like you're just bringing him back to voice the character, and it's like. I don't think the character of Batman should. I mean, he won't because WB. But
I guess,
like, you know what I mean. Like, I think this version of Batman can continue even if Kevin Conroy is not there.
I mean, I guess with the Suicide Squad, depending on how that actually fits, if it's canon to Arkham or not.
Which right now it is, but I don't think they're all dead. Is the thing. So.
Yeah, but spoilers. If they are, then you don't have to actually.
My bad.
I mean, the game is called Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, it is called Kill the Justice. Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I thought of recently? Hightail. Is that game ever coming out? You think?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
That got announced, mind you, almost 6 years ago. It's been that long.
That was longer, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
if you'd asked me, I'd have told you like 9 years ago.
I remember when that was like before the renaissance of Minecraft got in like 2019 with PewDiePie and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, like the all-time low.
That would have been like the perfect time for it to come out.
To release, but obviously they didn't, and they're still making slight updates here and there. But something I heard recently is the Hypixel owner Simon, I think his name is, recently fully started its own independent studio and put like $4 million into it to get it started.
Jeez.
So we'll see how that all works out. Yeah. So definitely interested. Like right now, I don't know. It's a weird spot with that game because some people are like, "Oh, it's a Minecraft killer," but like, can you really, really kill Minecraft? Think about like Lego Fortnite. People are like, "This is it for Minecraft." It lasted like 2 weeks, if that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd be. Yeah, I don't really know what games I'd be looking forward to. Probably I kind of talked about it. A Battlefront 3 would be dope, or continue Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Anything like that. I just love the online Star Wars games. They're just so much fun. The arcadiness of it. But I think that's probably gonna be it. We've been recording for.
I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything.
There's so much you can go into with gaming as a whole. So we just try to give kind of an idea of where we look at things when it comes to gaming and all of that sort of stuff. If there's any sort of games that you guys maybe like us to talk about, leave that in the comments down below. I don't know. But yeah. Oh shoot. I forgot.
What did we forget?
Slater.
Did we
We didn't leave time.
Slater, we are sorry we ran out of time.
Yeah.
We'll get you next time. We'll get you next time.
Yeah.
We'll get you for episode 5. Dang. That's our bad.
Yeah.
That is
Well.
because we mentioned him too at the beginning. That's bad.
Yeah. Oh man. Well.
Okay. Well,
It's fine. I'm sure.
I'm sure he'll be okay with it.
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, yeah. So if you guys want to see anything in the future episodes of the ATG podcast, let us know. Any like future topics you want us to cover, put it down in the comments. And
Any future guests?
any future guests, put it down in the comments. I assume when we have a guest, we will. I mean, I talked about this before, but we'll post it in the community tab of the YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to go over there to go check out all the latest updates for episodes and all that stuff. Which is all
gonna be it for today. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Watching if you're on YouTube.
Have a good one. And we will talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye. Bye.